LeBron James. In 1984, a boy was born in Akron, Ohio, a city known more for its struggles than its success. His name was LeBron James. His mother, Gloria, was just 16 years old when she had him. His father was never in the picture. By the time LeBron was 5, his family had been evicted from their home. They moved from apartment to apartment, sometimes staying with strangers just to have a roof over their heads. There were nights with no electricity, nights with no food on the table. But in the chaos of that life, LeBron found basketball. He was obsessed. By age 13, people in Akron already knew his name. By 16, his face was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, before he had even played a single NBA game. In 2003, at just 18 years old, LeBron was drafted first overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. His first NBA contract was worth $18 million. Today, LeBron James has earned over $1 billion, making him the first active NBA player to reach billionaire status. The boy from the eviction notices is now one of the wealthiest athletes in history. From Akron with nothing to the whole world watching. Cristiano Ronaldo. On the small Portuguese island of Madeira in 1985, a baby boy was born into a family that barely had enough to eat. His father worked as a gardener and a part-time kitman for a local football club. His mother was a cook and a cleaner. There were 4 children in the house, and not enough room for all of them. His name was Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro, and from the moment he could walk, he had a ball at his feet. At age 10, his talent was already impossible to ignore. But leaving home to pursue football meant leaving at 12, alone, to train in Lisbon, hundreds of miles from his family. He cried himself to sleep many nights. He was homesick, broke, and mocked by teammates for his thick island accent. But he never stopped training, never stopped pushing. At 18, Manchester United paid £15 million for him. It was just the beginning. Today, Cristiano Ronaldo is the most followed human being on Instagram, with over 600 million followers and a career worth well over $1 billion. The boy who once couldn't afford new boots now owns a private jet, multiple mansions, and his own hotel chain. From the poorest corner of Portugal to the entire planet knowing his name. Cardi B. Czar grew up in the South Bronx, New York, one of the roughest neighborhoods in America. Born in 1992 to a Dominican father and Trinidadian mother, Cardi's childhood was defined by struggle. Her parents worked hard, but money was always short. Gang violence was outside her window. Doubt was everywhere. By her teenage years, Cardi was working at a grocery store just to survive. She joined a gang. She was homeless at one point, bouncing between relatives and barely making it. Then came the strip club. She's never hidden it. She's talked openly about how stripping was the way she survived, how it gave her money, independence, and a way out. She used every dollar she earned to build something better. She started posting videos on Instagram. Raw, funny, real. People couldn't get enough. She landed a spot on the reality show Love and Hip Hop. Labels took notice. In 2018, her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, debuted at #1, making her the first female rapper to win the Grammy for Best Rap Album as a solo artist. From the South Bronx with nothing to Grammy stages, magazine covers, and a net worth of over $40 million. Cardi B didn't just survive the bottom, she turned it into her brand. Eminem. Marshall Bruce Mathers III was born in 1972 in St. Joseph, Missouri. His father abandoned the family when Marshall was still an infant and never came back. His mother, Debbie, struggled with addiction and mental illness. They moved constantly, from city to city, trailer to trailer, never staying anywhere long enough to feel like home. By the time Marshall was a teenager, they had settled in a rough neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan. He was bullied relentlessly at school. He dropped out at 17. He worked dead-end jobs at minimum wage, barely covering rent for himself and his daughter Haley, who was born when he was just 23. He almost froze to death one winter. The heat had been cut off. But rap was his lifeline. He battled in Detroit's underground hip-hop scene, often as one of the only white rappers in the room. He was laughed at, dismissed, rejected by record labels. Then, Dr. Dre heard a demo tape, and everything changed. In 1999, the Slim Shady LP launched Eminem into superstardom. He went on to become the best-selling rapper of the 2000s, with over 220 million records sold worldwide. From a freezing trailer with no heat to one of the greatest rappers who ever lived.
Oprah Winfrey. On January 29, 1954, a baby girl was born on a farm out of potato sacks. Her name was Oprah Gayle Winfrey. Her parents were unmarried and separated shortly after her birth. Oprah spent her earliest years with her grandmother. No running water, no indoor plumbing, just a small farm and a big imagination. She was sent to live with her mother in poverty-stricken Milwaukee at age 6. What followed were years of abuse, unspeakable things that no child should endure. By 13, she had run away from home. At 14, she gave birth to a premature baby boy who did not survive. She was sent to live with her father in Nashville, and that decision changed everything. He gave her structure. He made her read. He believed in her when nobody else did. By 19, she was on local radio. By 22, she was on local TV. By 32, the Oprah Winfrey Show went national and became the highest-rated talk show in television history. Today, Oprah Winfrey is worth over $2.5 billion. She is one of the most influential human beings alive. The little girl in a potato sack dress became the most powerful woman in media. Jim Carrey. In the suburbs of Toronto, Canada, in 1962, a boy named Jim Carrey was born into a family held together by hope, and not much else. His father, Percy, was a musician and accountant who loved to make people laugh. Jim inherited every bit of that gift. But when Jim was 12, his father lost his job, and everything fell apart. The entire Carrey family, Jim, his parents, and his 3 siblings, moved into a Volkswagen van. They lived in it for months. Eventually, they set up a tent on a relative's lawn. Jim was 15 years old, working 8-hour shifts at a factory after school just to help his family eat. He dropped out of school at 16 to pursue comedy full-time. He moved to Los Angeles with nothing but a dream and a worn-out jacket. For years, he performed at the Comedy Store, sometimes to empty rooms. He wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and kept it in his wallet to remind himself of where he was going. In 1994, 3 movies came out: Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber. All 3 were massive hits. Jim Carrey became the first actor to command a $20 million salary for a single film. The boy who lived in a van became one of Hollywood's biggest stars.